Hello and welcome to Mr. Follett's 9 boxes of numeracy. This is designed to hopefully improve your basic number skills, improve those numeracy skills so that you get much more confident within maths. Now, what we're going to do is on the screen I'm going to project you 9 questions. You're going to try all 9, attempt all of them, give them the best shot. Once you've tried them, you press play and I'll explain them all to you. Now the key to this is that then tomorrow you come back and you try the next video, which will contain 9 very similar questions, so that you keep practicing and keep improving these skills. Now you need to remember practice makes progress. We don't expect you to be brilliant at this overnight. However, over time and the more you do it, you should get more confident, you should start to get more correct, and then you'll gradually start to get much quicker at it as well. Okay, let's begin. Here are the first 9 questions that we'd like you to try. Okay, just to point out that the last one where it says write out your 6 times tables, what we want is just the first 12 numbers in the 6 times table on that one. So pause the video and try all 9 questions, please. Okay, I think you've had enough time, and hopefully you've now pressed play, and I'm going to start to talk you through these 9. The first one is addition. Whenever we see addition, we need to remember we need to use our column method. So 3,456 plus 2,871. So once I've done that, I'm now going to start to answer it. So we always start at the right, don't we? So 6 plus 1 is 7. 5 plus 7 is 12. So the 2 goes there, and we carry the 1. 4 plus 8 is also 12, but don't forget we've got the 1 down here as well, so adding that one on gives me an answer of 13. So my 3 goes there and I carry the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus the 1 we carried is a 6, so we get 6,327. Key here, whenever you see addition, don't forget to lay your columns out nice and clearly. Number 2 says 26 times 14. Knowing your times tables makes a huge difference in answering these sorts of questions, but as soon as we see it, we need to think about setting out our grids. So I've got 26 multiplied by 14. So we just split the numbers. 26 is 20 and 6. 14 is 10 and 4. 20 times 10 is 200. 6 times 10 is 60. 4 times 20 is 80, and 4 times 6 is 24. And then we need to add those 4 together. So I've got 260 from these two, and I've got 104 from those, and we're adding. So then I use the column method just like I did in question 1, which gives me 4, 6 and 3. So the answer was 364. Hopefully you got those. Number 3 is a division. Division we're going to use from all of these videos. We're going to use the bus stop. And the more you use this method, the easier it becomes, the more used to it you get, and the quicker you get. But again, the key for me is it's knowing your times tables that makes this method a lot easier. So how many 5s go into 2? Well, none. But I've not used the 2 here, I've not used any of those, so I move that 2 across, which turns the 4 into 24. How many 5s go into 24? Well, 4 5s are 20, and I've then got that 4 left over, haven't I? So 4 5s are 20, that only uses 20 of the 24 there, so I've got 4 left. How many 5s go into 45? And the answer we have then is 9. Okay, number 4, a subtraction. Now, throughout these videos, I'm going to be using the column method to do subtraction as well. For me personally, if you can master this method, then you can do any sort of subtraction you like. So 486 subtract 247. So we start at the right again. 6 take away 7. Well, 6 subtract 7 actually gives me -1, so I don't want to get any negative answers. So what I do is, because 6 is smaller than 7, I'm going to change that 8 to a 7 and turn that one there to 16, because don't forget this column here is 10 times more than this column here. So 16 take away 7 gives me an answer of 9. 7 take away 4 is 3. And 4 take away 2 is 2, leaving an answer of 239. Number 5 and number 1 are very similar. If you can do question number 1 over here, you can do question number 5 here just by remembering one very simple technique. And that is, when we do this, we need to line up our decimal points. So already, I've got my decimal points lined up. And then I just put the appropriate numbers in. So you can see, in a line all the way down here are my decimal points. 6 add 8 is 14. 4 goes there, carry the 1. 4 add 3 is 7. Add the carried 1, gives me 8. Decimal points in there. 7 add 9 is 16, so the 6 goes there, carry the 1. 1 add 1 gives me 26.84. Now, hopefully you noticed I've been a bit sneaky here. On question number 6, 2.6 times 1.4 is very, very similar to question number 2, isn't it? 26 times 14. Now, if I started off with 2.6 times 1.4, what I would actually do is I'd multiply the 2.6 by 10 to give 26, and the 1.4 by 10 to give 14, and then I would use the grid method to solve the problem. But I've already done that. I know 26 times 14 is 364. Okay? And I'm going to estimate 2.6 times 1.4. Well, it's about 3 times 1. 3 lots of 1's about 3. So the answer's got to be roughly about 3, hasn't it? So in that case, using these numbers here, where can I put my decimal point that gets this answer as close to 3 as possible? It's going to have to go in there, isn't it? So the answer is 3.64. Okay. Finding 10% of 120 is number 7. To find 10% of anything, we can divide by 10. So 10%, 120 divided by 10 equals £12. So that's 10%. Just as a sort of aside, just something to bear in mind, if you were trying to find 50%, we would half 120. So halving 120 would give me an answer of 60. So 50% would be 60. To find 25%, you could half your 50%. So half that would be 30, and so on. A method you need to learn for number 8. Whenever you are trying to find a fraction of an amount, we always divide by denominator. So the denominator is always the bottom of the fraction, so you divide it by the bottom, and then times by the numerator. So we multiply by the numerator. So 36 divided by 4. So 36 divided by 4 gives me an answer of 9. Then we times by the numerator, so times by the top. 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, so divide by the bottom, times by the top. Divide by the numerator, divide by the denominator, times by the numerator. Just get really confident. Keep saying that to yourself, and hopefully you'll be really confident with that one next time. Writing out your 6 times tables. This is such a good thing to practice. If you do struggle with your times tables, just keep writing them out. The more you do it, the more you remember them. I bet lots of you remember the lyrics to songs because you've either heard them loads of times or sang them loads of times. It's the same for learning your tables. If you write out your 6 times table hundreds and hundreds of times, soon you'll be really confident with it. I'd recommend writing it as 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 6 is 24, 5 times 6 is 30, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 6 is 42, 8 times 6 is 48, 9 times 6 is 54, 10 times 6 is 60. I've run out of space, but hopefully you then got 11 times 6 is 66, and 12 times 6 is 72. So keep practicing these skills, and we've been through this video today. If you come back tomorrow, watch the next one, try the first 9 questions. They'll be very, very similar with different numbers, so we keep practicing and reiterating the same skills over and over again until all of these become second nature. And I promise, if you get really good at these 9 things, know your tables inside out, you'll find maths an awful lot easier. Thank you for watching. Please pass this on to any other friends who might find this useful, and let me know any feedback. Thank you very much.